the lead, went straight for the title. No time to idle. I finna get it, put that on the Bible. This is survival. Gotta treat every move made like the final. One by a mile. Nobody believe it, they all in denial. Hey, look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since Auto. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out, they flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. By any means. I gotta get it. I gotta get it, the mindset. Hey, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Hey, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Hey, best keep distance, all of my haters send best of wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no I don't need no assistance, no. Yeah, no playing it safe. I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say? If you ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Yeah, got no time to waste. Can't be with me if you not at my pace. You not at my level, you not in my race. One foot on the gas, I'm pushing the brakes. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Saw they be scheming and said adios. Yeah, I gotta get it. By any means. I gotta get it, the mindset. I gotta get it, the mindset. I gotta get it, the mindset.
Yeah. I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game now. I came here to prove it. I'm ready to do it. I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame. Show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, my
Good evening, race fans, and welcome as we bring you the season opener for your World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series here on iRacing live from Volusia Speedway Park. It's Randy Chineth and Chase Rodman who will be bringing you all the action on a week-by-week basis for this 10-round championship, where once again 35 of the best winged sprint car drivers on the iRacing service will be battling for $25,000 over the next 10 weeks. Chase, it's been a long off season for these winged sprint cars, and I am super happy to be back calling World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink sprint car action once again.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a fantastic season. We've got 2 more tracks that have been added onto the simulation for this 2020 edition of this World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series campaign with Fairbury and another track, which is going to be really, really cool to see how these guys adapt.
Lernerville is what you're thinking of.
Lernerville was the one I was thinking of. Sorry, I got put on the spot there and kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting. We've got some new guys coming into the series. You know, we saw them last week during preseason Thunder. One of those new guys coming into the series this year actually won the race. That was Dylan Selleman, a guy that had never been in the championship before. So it's really cool to see some of these guys that have made their way through the qualifying series and already finding success here in this series.
Talking about new people, it's going to be a first time for us here for a little bit of pre-race action. Let's bring in the voice of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars for the real world side of things, Mr. Johnny Gibson. Johnny, how are you tonight?
Guys, I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on. This is a really cool thing I'm glad to be a part of.
Johnny, this is going to be the 3rd year of this championship, World of Outlaws. When the dirt racing came in, we're really the primary partner with iRacing nearly about 4 years ago now. It's weird to think it's been that long. How has this sort of affected, and how has this been a building block for World of Outlaws sort of as an entity? Because it's been an amazing championship over the last 3 years, and this one in particular has been very competitive.
I think it's become basically standard practice for anybody trying to race in the real world series with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. A lot of drivers spend a lot of time on iRacing, going to tracks maybe they've never seen before in person. They rave about the capabilities of iRacing and reproducing these racetracks. You see a lot of our drivers competing on iRacing to get tuned up for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars at those tracks.
And now for you, Johnny, it's obviously everything that's been going on in the real world. Everyone's scrambling, trying to keep some racing action going. The World of Outlaws this Wednesday night going to be hosting their first of their Pro Invitational series, and hopefully not the only one with the way things are going, because I think it's going to be a great show. Any previews for that? Anyone you think we might need to keep an eye on from the real world drivers that maybe hot shoes on the sim?
Actually, I'm really not all that familiar with the sim, so I'm just kind of getting my feet wet on this thing. But boy, you look at the list of drivers scheduled to compete, and the top names, not just with the greatest show on dirt, from all across the world of sprint car racing and indeed the world of dirt track racing. Several of the competitors of the World of Outlaws Morton Building Late Model Series going to jump into a sprint car and compete with us on Wednesday evening as well.
Well, Johnny, we thank you for joining us, and we're only about 20 seconds out for qualifying, but any closing thoughts for you as we get ready here at Volusia Speedway Park? It was Logan Schuhart who took the most recent win for you guys when racing action was still commencing. Anything that our viewers should expect as we get ready to get racing action commenced here this evening?
Well, from anybody that watched the NASCAR iRacing broadcast yesterday on Fox Sports 1, I think you'll see a lot of the same sort of thing. I think it'll be very realistic, and I, for one, just cannot wait to be a part of this. I think this is going to be so cool.
All right, so there he was, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Gibson, the voice of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, someone I know I've been adored listening to, calling races over the last 20 years as I was growing up. Chase, is super cool to have Johnny involved with this, and probably going to have him involved on Wednesday night as well.
Yeah, Wednesday night should be fantastic. I've had the opportunity in real life to work with Johnny on a couple different occasions, the Las Vegas dirt track and one other place. So Johnny, a stand-up guy, one of the best in the business, probably one of the most recognizable voices in dirt track racing, and that might be an understatement there, as he's been in the game for so long with these guys. His voice, his name is synonymous with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, and it's going to be great to have him in the virtual world as well here on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it definitely is, as we'll take a look over our event format here. If this is the first time you've tuned in to one of these race broadcasts for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars here on iRacing. Heat races, we're going to have 4 heats of 10 laps each. You're going to see about 8 or 9, maybe 10 drivers in each heat race. top 4 from each heat will transfer directly to the main event. Everyone else will go down to the last chance qualifiers. You will see 2 LCQs, and now this is not a C and then a B main. They are technically twin B mains with the top 2 from each last chance qualifier going to the feature. Then we will line up the 20 drivers that get their way and have raced their way into the main event throughout the evening, and they will do battle for, of course, not only championship points chase, and I mentioned the fact that $25,000 on the line in this championship. Significant chunk of that is on the line every single evening for the race purse. $300 going to the victor every single evening, $200 for second, $100 for third. So big money on the line, even outside of the $19,000 opened up for the championship.
Yeah, I think Alex Bergeron, after winning the championship last year, obviously got that $10,000 check, but he had so many race wins and so many top threes, he ended up walking out with, I think, around $12,500 when it was all said and done. So definitely a lot of money up for grabs, and I've just got to think that here after qualifying, Alex Bergeron, quick time. I was going to say it a little bit earlier on in the broadcast here, but I think he is the guy to watch for here, man. He ran second the first year of this series, and he won last year with 5 wins and 10 starts. The 12 cars who everybody's going to have their eye on here to take home this championship, but we've got a lot of guys this year that I think are going to be up for the challenge here, and it starts right here tonight at Volusia Speedway Park.
And let's talk about how competitive this championship is going to be this year. We had 7 iRacing World Championships last year, and 3 of the world champions line up in heat race number 1. Alex Bergeron, the defending series champion from your 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series, puts in quick time, and he will start on the inside of the front row for heat race number 1. On his outside, winner of the 2019 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship, Zach Novak will line up alongside the number 12 of Alex Bergeron. Cole Cabre and Colton Hardy will make up row number 2 with Joel Berkeley and Rusty Kruger on row 3. David Heilemann, your 2019 USAC Flow Racing World Champion, will line up in P7 on the inside of row 4. Billy Rowley will be next to him with Justin Thomas tagging the back of the 9-car field. This is the first for me, Chase. I've never seen so many champions in a single heat race.
Yeah, definitely cool, and it's awesome to see him come from different disciplines. Obviously, Bergeron was the champion with the wing on, Novak was the champion on the pavement side of things, and David Heilemann the champion without the wings on. So a lot of diversity here in this series in 2020, and one of those guys that I was talking about that was gunning for this championship that I think has a fantastic shot at it this year does not get a good qualifying lap in there, and that's that 49 car of David Heilemann driving for Slick SimSport. Qualifies a 13.850. That lines him up 7th here in this heat race, so not really getting his season off to a good start here is David Heilemann, but we know him, the Heilemaniac. He's not going to be, taking it easy for the back here, Randy. He's going to be putting on a show coming to the front, trying to get into one of those top 4 transfer spots here.
We thank you all for making us a part of your Monday evening, and let's get this show on the road. iRacing safety truck down into pit road, and Alex Bergeron picks up the throttle. We are green for heat race number 1 and your 2020 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship. Here comes Cole Cabre on the outside, eyeing up Alex Bergeron. We've seen that duo go to battle in times in the past, and they run 1 and 2 as they complete lap number 1.
Yeah, Zach Novak runs in the 3rd spot, then the 41 of Colton Hardy in final transfer spot for now. There's a slider behind him from David Heilemann on the number 9 car of Joel Berkeley. Those are teammates right there going at it for the 5th spot. Give it to the 9 of Berkeley for now. Heilemann runs in 7th, and then Rusty Kruger in 8th as they run down the front straightaway into turn 1.
Through 1 and 2 once again, you see cars tracking up to the top side of the racetrack. A little bit of a slider in the back being thrown between a couple of guys, but they pretty much single file out down the back straightaway across, starting lap number 4. Alex Bergeron starting to open up a gap as Zach Novak is keeping Cole Cabre honest. Off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Will there be a slide job set up here? Cole's going to go a little bit of a lane down. Zach's trying to set a move up, but right now a very single groove racetrack at the moment. Here comes Novak into 1.
Novak tries the bottom right there, and he's going to try and slip back in line, but Hardy to the outside, the 41 car side by side for third. Here comes the 9 car of Joel Berkeley, makes it 3 wide, and it turns 3 and 4. Now Novak gets right back by Hardy. These guys are going at it. They got to sort it out though. Here comes the 9 of Berkeley and the 49 of Heilemann as they throw another slider for that 3rd spot down the back straightaway.
41 of Colton Hardy, 9 of Heilemann, as you see these guys working hard. Colton out of Phoenix, Arizona. as working down the front straightaway once again. The lead continues to grow for Alex Bergeron, working lap 7 of 10. Joel Berkeley still trying to make the bottom work, but it's going to go backwards and going to go not the way he wants to go, but maybe seeing that bottom line start to come in heat race number 2 and 3. Zach Novak still all over the back of Cole Cabré as they work down the back straightaway once again, trying to go side by side. Here they come into 3 and 4, coming to 2 to go.
Slide job from Novak. It's clear. The 71 of Cabre's going to turn it back down to the inside and reclaim that second spot. Next time by, we come down to the white flag. Cabre with another slider. The 50 of Novak turns it right back down to the inside. Meanwhile, Alex Bergeron checks out up front as they continue to go at it for second. Here comes David Heilman to the back bumper of Colton Hardy on the final lap here, Randy.
Second spot swapping 2 times on the penultimate lap. What's he going to do the final trip around the racetrack? Bergeron open by over half of a second as they work down in towards 3 and 4. Defensive line from Novak. Bergeron will take the win in heat race number 1. Novak, a little bit of a pile up in the back. Who's going to have your last transfer spot in this? David Heilman over Colton Hardy by 3/1000ths of a second. David Heilman will punch his ticket and go into the main event tonight. What an opening heat race for the 2020 championship.
Holy cow, the battle for the transfer spot. David Heilman. Luckily, obviously, this is not real life stuff here. It's a simulation, so you can kind of make moves like that, but you're not going to be making many friends out there doing stuff like that there, Randy, as Heilman came up across the nose of Hardy, trying to do everything he could for that final transfer, and he gets the job done, but probably made an enemy there in the process, I should say.
Yep, but that's sometimes just the price of doing business here in the world of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. And let's move on down to the starting grid for Heat Race 2. We had a pair of champions from 2019 on the front row of Heat Race number 1, and a pair of new faces on the front row for Heat Race number 2. Cameron Merriman and Dylan Semmelman will make up the front row for the second heat race, with James Edens and Lewis Hewitt on that second row. Watch for that 52 car. Doesn't tend to qualify too well, but always a factor in these races, especially when we get deep into the main. Tyler Shell on row 3. Braden Eiler and Skylar Brown on row 4, with John Batista, the 9th car on the grid, but it does not seem that he's been able to make the call to the starting grid, so it will be 8 cars here for heat race number 2.
Yep, and you see, like you mentioned, there are 2 newcomers to the series on the front row, then 2 veterans right there with the 52 of Edens and the 3 of Hewitt. You got that 52 car of Edens. You mentioned he doesn't usually qualify very well, but James Edens, one of 3 drivers that made it into every championship that we had last year. That's obviously the Wing Sprint Cars. That is the World of Outlaws Late Model Series and the USAC World Championship Series. I believe Edens was in the top 5 in every one of those deals as far as the championships were concerned. So one of the most well-rounded dirt drivers on the sim right there is that 52 car of Edens. He's another one of them that I'm counting on here to try and put up a challenge for Alex Bergeron here in the championship.
Well, let's see what we can get here for heat race number 2. We saw that bottom maybe coming in for the 9 of Joe Berkeley through the tail end of that opening heat race of the evening. So maybe we can see these guys a little bit more multi-groove as the night goes on. Cameron Merriman will pace them around 3 and 4. Watch for the iRacing safety truck to duck to the safety of pit road, and that'll be about the signal for the 17. He picks up the throttle, and we're green on heat race number 2. Merriman out to a clean jump. They're side by side for 4th, though. It's going to be the 25 on the bottom of Tyler Ducharme, trying to hold on to what is currently the last transfer spot, but on the outside, Tyler Shell trying to fight with him.
Yep, Tyler Shell in the preferred group for now, tries to drive around on the outside, he's in the wall, he climbs the fence, and there goes Tyler Shell out of the picture immediately as the 5 of Braden Eiler puts a slide job on Ducharme now, as Eiler takes over 4th contact behind them between the 3 of Hewitt and the 10 of Skylar Brown.
We got another car on its side, and that is Skylar Brown, who's going to be basically ending his heat race early as well. So early fallers here in this second heat of the night. Driver now up into the 4th transfer spot. Going to be Braden Eiler, who's worked his way up into the top 4.
Yeah, Braden Eiler up to the 4-spot slider behind him between the 3 of Hewitt and the 25 of Ducharme. Ducharme turns it right back down to the inside, back into the 5th spot, and it looks like he's tracking down that number 5 car of Braden Eiler. Ducharme is one of those newcomers into the series, qualified in through the qualifying series, and he's one of the guys that I have picked that could win some races here this season as he's trying to track down the 5. Now a slider coming in on him as Hewitt turns it right back up, Ducharme turns it right back down to the inside of Lewis Hewitt.
In towards 3 and 4. It'll be cross flags this time as they come across the iRacing and by the iRacing starter stand. So your top 4 as they run: Cameron Merriman, Dylan Stolman, James Edens, and Braden Eiler. We're still watching the 25 and Tyler Ducharme because that is the closest and most contested battle on the racetrack right now for 5th and 6th. between Tyler Ducharme and Lewis Hewitt. You see Braden Eiler also a factor in this, just a couple of tenths up the road as well, but he's about 10 car lengths clear, and I don't think that the 25 has anything for him. Here comes Lewis Hewitt down the back straightaway in towards 3 and 4. Slide job up to the top of the racetrack. Back down to the bottom, comes to the 25, but can't quite get there. Hewitt's got the 5th spot.
And you know how important these spots are here in the heat race, whether you're in a transfer spot or whether you're not. You know, you pass one car, and that's worth about 2 or 3 rows, whether you're in the B main or the feature. So Hewitt is trying to hang on to 5th for all she's worth right now. Up front, the 17 of Cameron Merriman. Oh, Hewitt bounces off the wall there, Randy, just as I switched off of him, and Ducharme will go by for 5th there.
That's pretty much going to end that battle. White flag waves as they come off turn number 4, and it's still Cameron Merriman who leads. He's moved his line around a little bit. One's up against the wall. Now he runs sort of the lower middle entry. Dylan Selman a little bit wide on entry. James Edens might be able to make something of this. Through 3 and 4 for the last time. Merriman will hold on to the victory. Selman 2nd, Edens 3rd, and Braden Eiler will round out your transfers in the top 4. It's going to be Tyler Ducharme and Lewis Hewitt in 5th and 6th, with Skylar Brown and Tyler Schell rounding out the cars who did not transfer, and John Batista, as you can see, not making the feature just yet. It's a very different racetrack from what we saw a week ago, Chase. Seems a lot more single line. I'm seeing a lot more people running the top and the middle, where it seemed like the bottom was a little better in the early goings last week.
Yeah, I think tonight it's a lot slicker here at Volusia Speedway Park, because obviously, if you're wondering what we're talking about, last week we had the preseason Thunder race here at Volusia Speedway Park, and in the heat races it seemed like it was a lot more hooked up, but tonight a lot more slick, and I think that's going to help us later on tonight. That's going to bring that bottom groove in here, as these guys will have to really slow down. The top will get real treacherous, have a big cushion up there. They'll be right on the wall, and it's going to make it tough to run up there, so the bottom will definitely come back into play later on in the feature event. Plus, we've got another B main, which we did not have last week, so that's going to put even more laps on this racetrack as they get gridded up for heat race number 3.
Let's go down that starting grid for the 3rd heat race. It's going to be the 24 of Sean Timmerman, who is supposed to be on the pole, but I think he's actually missed the call. So it's actually going to be the 11 of Cole Newhoffen, as Merriman has not made the grid. The outside of the front row will be Blake Cannon, as you can see in the 44. He was really quick last week in the test race, so look for him to be a factor. Dylan Hauser will line up in 4th, Britton Roxbury 5th, with Adam Elby, Alex Smolders, Anthony Job, and Matt McKinney rounding out the 9-car grid. That's a disaster for the 24 Chase. You come in for your, the season opener, you qualify really well, P3, pole position on a heat race, and you don't make the call to the grid. That is a huge drop of the ball there.
Yeah, not sure if he had some connection issues or whatnot, but yeah, tough break there for Sean Timmerman. He'll have to come out of the B main. Hopefully he can get his problems sorted out, but want to talk about the guy on the outside of the front row here, the 44, Blake Cannon. If you were tuned in last week, then you saw him absolutely checked out with the feature event lead there, and then, that little, what do you call it, a pass road, or sorry, what's it called there, Randy, on the back stretch, that little road? The access road, that's what I was trying to find there. Hit the wall on the back straightaway, leading it all by himself, and ended up on his lid, and then his night came to an end. So I think Blake Cannon is a guy that we could watch for to win here tonight if he just keeps her off the wall here.
Now, I see you there, Chase. I see you trying to get me to say something funny again on air. I know you last time I called something like one of those words last year. Yeah, I know I did. But here we go, in towards 3 and 4 for the 3rd heat race, and it's going to be the 11 of Cole Newhoffen who brings them to the green flag. So the Kenzer Sim Racing team will be more than pleased with that. Cole's going late. Look at Blake Cannon trying to jump it, and look at the checkup that Blake Cannon has to do. That's going to check up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You see side by side in the mid-pack, the 2 of Dylan Hauser trying to size up the 11 as the 44 has gone out to an early lead. Slider from the 11 as the 44 turns it back down to the bottom. Contact between your top 2, and that's going to stack up the field.
Oh man, 4 cars involved there, and they only have 4 left here as they run down the back straightaway. Your leader is Cole Newhall, or sorry, is the 44 Blake Cannon, and then Adam Elby runs 2nd. Anthony Job and Matt McKinney, who started way back on the 4th row here, will now find themselves in transfer after a big wreck there on the front stretch.
Yeah, big problems there for those guys. Just, you're always going to see it here, Chase, the early aggression. We saw it in the first couple of heat races as well, but that's really the first time it's really come to blows, and the first big multi-car pileup we've seen all year.
Yeah, the 44 Cannon definitely was not clear on the front stretch right there, and Cole Newhoffen, unfortunately, in the terrible spot there at the worst time, just gets pinched into the wall, and his night will come to an end here in the heat race. Now we've got a battle for the 3rd spot. Here comes Matt McKay with a big slide job on the 91 car of Anthony Job. Job's able to turn it back down to the inside. At least with 4 cars left, we're having a good battle here, Randy.
Yeah, and these guys are going to want to be a little bit nice to each other here, Chase, because with it still the top four, they have an 8-second gap basically to the next car behind. Take that 4 seconds back to Dylan Hauser. You want to run for third or fourth, sure, but you don't want to make the big mistake of getting into each other and throwing away what is an easy transfer spot here as they work down off of turn 4.
Yeah, Adam Elby looks like he's closing in just a little bit on the 44 Blake Cannon, but those two guys are teammates. And you're wondering, there's teammates in this stuff. Yes, Swindell Speed Lab Esports has 9 cars in this World Championship field. Slick Sim Sport, I think they've got like 7 cars in the field, and then you got some other teams out there as well, like Kinzer Sim Racing Team and some others there, Randy. So a lot of teamwork involved here in this series. A lot of guys trying to help each other out and share setups and that sort of thing. And it's great to see guys like Kevin Swindell, who fields a World of Outlaws sprint car in real life on multiple different times throughout the year. Great to see his involvement here in this series.
We're down to a lap and a half left to go in this third heat race. Right now it's Matt McKinney who has the third spot over Anthony Joe, Blake Cannon, and Adam Elby. They're still relatively clear. Elby is closing in that 44 though as we have the white flag on this lap. Maybe a slider coming in from Adam Elby on his teammate into 3 and 4. Will he be able to make that bottom work side by side across the line? But it won't be enough. Cannon will hold on over Adam Elby. Matt McKinney will get that third spot away from Anthony Joe, but that's going to be your top 4 after that last race. So those 4 will transfer, and it's going to be Dylan Hauser, Alex Smolders, Britton Roxbury, and Cole Newhoffen, the 4 drivers caught up in that early incident that will have to do it through the last chance qualifier. You mentioned all the Speed Lab cars, Chase. 3 of them taking the 4 transfer spots in that third heat, and all 3 of them on the podium from heat race number 3.
Yeah, you got quite a few more of them here in this 4th and final heat race. Here's how they'll line up for it. It's going to be the number 4 car of James Tiernan on the pole. Next to him is the 18 of Austin Semmelman. Row number 2, it's the 35. That's a long-standing driver here in this series, Nick Cooper. And outside of him, another one of those eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers. That's the 99 of Logan Clampett. Third row is the 00. Almost won last year's World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Series Championship, but ended up second in the points. That's the 00 of Kendall Tucker. Outside of him, it's his teammate, the 39 of Chase Cabray. And your final 2 starters, the 92 of Mike Keegan and the 80 of Vinny Sansone. So a good mix here of drivers that it's their first time here in this series, and a lot of veterans of this series in this heat race right here, Randy.
Yeah, it's good to see, like you said, the mix. It's basically the champions race in the opening heat, but good to see a good mix of some of the series veterans and some of the newcomers as well in this one. Any favorites among this 8-car heat here, Chase? Any of these newcomers we should look out for?
Well, I think you've got to consider Kendall Tucker as a newcomer. Obviously, he's already had a pro license with the late model stuff, but first time in the sprint cars. He's put a lot of time into learning how these cars drive, how to get fast in them, and it proved to pay dividends as he was the champion in the qualifying series to get his license to come into this series in 2020. So I think that Kendall Tucker is a guy that's very consistent. He's got a lot of speed and didn't get a very good qualifying lap in here tonight, but Kendall's always proved that he's really good come race time.
So James Tiernan down the back straightaway. We'll be bringing him to green here. You can see the iRacing safety truck at the bottom of your screen there for a moment. Watch for it to pull down on towards pit road, and that'll be the signal for us to go racing when James Tiernan in the 4 decides to get on the throttle. You see drivers trying to jump it once again, but Tiernan holds him up, but it's still a good reaction time from Selman on the outside. Look at the way they're stacked up in the mid-pack. This caused a disaster last time. Selman going all the way out to the outside wall. We're nearly 3 wide, 4 wide for second, third, and fourth. Everyone hits it, everyone else, but everyone keeps it rolling. We're 3 wide for third.
Oh, more contact on the front stretch. Nick Cooper goes around. He was running at about 7th. We're going to keep on going, though. Kendall Tucker already making his way to the front of the field here, Randy. Just talked about him on the bottom of the racetrack as a pull up next to Austin Selman for the 2nd spot, but Tucker still runs 3rd at the line.
Tiernan goes down at the bottom. Tucker finds the inside wall, and he's going to get up to the outside of Vinny Sansone. That's going to open up a 2-car gap here between Tiernan and Semmelman. Tiernan runs the bottom. Semmelman side by side up top. It's going to be Semmelman at the stripe, but they're going to stay side by side in towards 1 and 2. Tiernan liking that lower line, slides up in front of Austin Semmelman, who will drive it right back down to the middle and slide Tiernan right back in towards 3 and 4. But no, he's going to keep it down along the bottom. I was expecting that car to shoot up the racetrack, and Austin leads once again.
Austin Selman driving for Tony Stewart Racing takes the lead. James Tiernan running for Elbows Up Simsport in second. And then it's Swindell Speed Labs 00. Kendall Tucker running in third. Now Tucker up to the back bumper of James Tiernan. We know you do not want to settle for a third place finisher in these heat races. You gain one spot, you're gaining two rows on the grid. Here comes Tucker to the inside of James Tiernan. Kendall Tucker out of second here.
This is not just a fight for second and third. Austin Stellman is just out ahead of this fight. So you have to wonder whoever's going to pick up this fight for second might be in it to watch for the win. We were watching back there for the final transfer spot, but we'll shift the cameras back to your top three. See the 4-car Tiernan still down on the bottom, trying to keep the 00. Kendall Tucker on it, side by side, in towards 1 and 2. Slider coming from the bottom line of James Tiernan. Kendall Tucker right back down to the inside. They'll make contact. That door was always going to get shut, and Tucker was always going to try to get through it.
How did those guys hang on to that right there and maintain transfer spots? That was a very close call there that could have just ruined their season here in the first race tonight. But Austin Selman will pull away with the race lead. Coming around to the white flag, car number 18 will see it first, followed by the 00. Then the 4, and then in the 4 spots, the 39 of Chase Cabray. Here comes Mike Keegan to the inside for the final transfer spot, Randy.
Chase Cabray, winner last year at Kokomo in this championship, and they're going to fight it out for that final transfer spot. Selman, Tucker, and Tiernan all clear here. And who's it going to be? Cabray has it off 4, and he'll hold on to it as Mike Keegan in the car with the X on the side. That's the 92X car. Will round out your top 5. Post-race results coming up here on screen. But what a final heat race here as we get ready for the last chance qualifiers. You can see Austin Selman, who's had almost a year and a half of bad luck, finally qualifies well and takes a big heat race victory here in heat race number 4. Kendall Tucker, James Tiernan, and Chase Cabray will round out your 4 transfers, with Mike Keegan, Logan Clampett, Vinny Sansone, and Nick Cooper rounding out the 8-car field in heat race number 4 as we get ready here, Chase, to go LCQ racing. Tell the fans a little about it.
Yeah, so we're going to have 2 B main events here, 2 twin B mains. Looks like 9 cars in each one, actually 9 in one and 10 in the other one. And we are going to have top 2 drivers transferring out of each of these, 12 laps in distance. It's going to be the 41 car of Colton Hardy on the pole. This one next to him is the 2 of Dylan Hauser. Row 2 inside is the 9 of Joel Berkeley. Outside him, the 211 of Alex Smolders. Third row, 55 car Rusty Kruger. Outside him is the 421 of Britton Roxbury. Fourth row, 23 car Justin Thomas. And outside Thomas is the 11 of Cole Newhoffen. Final start of the 79 car, Billy Rowley. He will line up in 9th here. And what we normally see here in these B mains is it's mostly made up of guys that had no luck in the heat race or got inside or got into an accident or some here, Andy. And looking at a couple of these guys like Cole Newhoffen and Dylan Hauser, those are guys that got in accidents there in their heat race, and now they're trying to get one of these 2 spots into the feature.
Yeah, and it tends to be a lot of guys as well, Chase, that tend to be pretty quick as well. The 2 of Hauser seems to have some good speed. Even the 9 of Joel Berkeley lining up the inside of the 2nd row. He had good speed. Watch for him starting on the outside of a transfer. And even the 211 of Alex Smolders might be one to keep an eye on. But the last chance qualifiers always provide a great show.
Yeah, it sure does. And, this series has gotten a lot of recognition. Our friend Justin Fiedler, who's one of the main co-hosts for Open Red podcast that is specifically for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, contacted me yesterday trying to find out who are some of the players that we need to watch for here in this series in 2020. And, he mentioned that on his other podcast today that just came out. So great to have some recognition here for this series as things are really getting ramped up in iRacing in 2020 as we go green here on this first LCQ.
Here comes the 9 of Joel Berkeley at the inside. He wants the transfer spot here early. He'll fight with his teammate Dylan Hauser for it. Down the back straightaway, they'll go wheel to wheel. Nearly pretty much the entire width of the racetrack between him, but then Berkeley, he's going to slide everybody. Joel go to the lead. The 2 of Hauser, he gets into who is that spinning down the front straightaway. But big drama here on the opening lap of LCQ1. I think that was Britton Roxbury. Yeah,
poor Britton Roxbury getting in it with the 2 car of Dylan Hauser. Those guys' races will come to an end. They'll have to come and try again next week as the battle for the race lead continues on. Joel Berkeley back to the inside of Colton Hardy. Here comes the 211 of Alex Smolders. He goes by Hardy for a moment for the 2nd spot. Hardy back around him on the outside. And this is what we're talking about, man. Some of the best racing we see all night happens right here in these LCQs. You got to finish 1st or 2nd to keep your night alive here.
Joel Berkeley able to get clear of the top two, but not by much. So Hardy and Smolders, they definitely can see that 9 car just out in front of them. You can see, though, now the 211 of Smolders drops back a little bit that time off of turn number 2. Dylan Hauser, he works the 23 of Justin Thomas, and he drives around him like he's standing still in the center in 3 and 4. Here comes Billy Rowley now, trying to set up a move as Hauser is a man on the mission and maybe one to fight with. As Justin Thomas, he wants to fight back here on the bottom of 3 and 4.
Yeah, Hauser's got to try and get clear of the 23 car Justin Thomas, but not going to happen. Thomas drives right back down to the inside and at the start-finish line. Give fourth to Justin Thomas, the Miller Motorsports number 23 car, up to P4, but they've got to sort it out here, Randy. They're running out of time. 6 laps to go. There goes Hauser right back in front of Thomas. They go side by side down the front stretch. A little contact is made, but they're running out of time. The top 3 is driving away from him here.
That they are, and Berkeley and Smolders are still side by side as they work down in towards 3 and 4. Berkeley has dropped back just a little bit here, and Smolders has reeled in the 41 of Colton Hardy. So Alex Smolders in the 211, putting down some really clean laps here for the race lead. These top 2 currently the ones transferring. Alex, he doesn't feel he's safe in second. Slide job in towards 3 and 4. Back down to the bottom for Colton Hardy. A little bit of contact between the two. Nearly fed a right rear there from Colton Hardy is through 1 and 2. Smolders will have the lead, and here comes Joel Berkeley. As we got a car in the wall in 1 and 2, that's Billy Rowley.
Here comes the 9 of Berkeley, tries the bottom in 3 and 4, pulls up next to Hardy. Side by side down the front straightaway, give the spot to Hardy at the line. Now Berkeley will edge ahead off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Berkeley and Hardy going at it for the final transfer spot. 2 laps to go this time by the start-finish line. Who's it going to be? Is it the Australian or the Arizonian? Down the front stretch, who's it going to be, Randy?
We're going to have to wait and find out. 1 more mile around this racetrack. 2 laps to go. Joe Berkeley on the bottom. Colton Hardy up top. They stay wheel to wheel, and Alex Smolders is able to open up a little bit of a gap. White flag this time as they come across the iRacing starter stand, and it was Joel Berkeley by just a few hundredths of a second that time at the stripe. But it's a 12-lap race, not an 11-lap run. In towards 3 and 4 for the final time. Who is it going to be? Smolders will hold on to win, but off of turn 4, it's going to be Colton Hardy sending Joel Berkeley home.
Yeah, Joel Berkeley, I think he might have had a shot at him there in the final corner, but he hit the inside wall because that's just how close you got to be to the inside wall to hit the moisture right now, Randy, and he hit the inside wall, and it really killed a lot of his momentum right there, and Berkeley will have to try again next week. That was a great battle for the final transfer spot. Great job by Alex Smolders and Colton Hardy to get the job done there. It was Berkeley, Hauser, Thomas, Rowley, Newhalfen, Kruger, Roxbury, and Sansone. Those guys will have to try again next week, but the second B main, our final 2 spots for tonight's feature, getting graded up right now on the front stretch.
Let's go down that final last chance qualifier here. It's going to be the 25 of Tyler Ducharme on the front row, on the inside of the front row for this one, with Mike Keegan in the 92X on the outside of that front row. Lewis Hewitt and Logan Clampett on row number 2, with Skylar Brown and Vinny Sansone on row 3. Tyler Schell and Nick Cooper make up row 4, with pair of drivers, Chase, who did not make the start for their heat races. Neither of them will make the start for the last chance qualifier either, so John Batista and Sean Timmerman, they will log out today after the first night of racing with 0 points logged after not getting any laps completed. That is well, that's not a great way to start your season.
No, definitely not, especially for Sean Timmerman. I believe he qualified inside the top 6, if I'm not mistaken, so not exactly sure what happened to him. Yeah, he qualified 3rd, and, you know, there is points awarded in qualifying for the top 6 drivers, so Timmerman had things looking his way there after time trials, but unfortunately maybe had some computer issues here tonight and things just not going his way. So we will start this one with 8 cars going at it for the top 2 spots, and the guy I'm going to keep my eye on here is the 85 of Tyler Schell, who ended up 2nd in the qualifying series to get his pro license after 10 weeks of action, and he got into an accident. We saw it in the first lap of the heat race, climbed up the wall and flipped over, so the 85 is going to be on a mission here to the front of the field.
He's going to have a lot of work to do, though, starting from the inside of what has become the final row of this last chance qualifier. So 8 cars, only 2 of them will be going to the 30-lap feature event. Who is it going to be? In towards 3 and 4. Watch for the 25 of Tyler Ducharme to pick up the throttle. He gets on early. We are green in LCQ2.
Yeah, green flag is out. A good start for Tyler Ducharme up front. Here comes Lewis Hewitt. He'll slide in front of Mike Keegan to take over the second spot. Keegan with a big run down the backstretch. He'll try and turn it down to the inside for P2. He's followed by the 99 of Logan Clampett and the 10 of Skylar Brown. Slider for second. Give it to Keegan off turn 4. Wow, Randy.
These guys are still fighting over it, though. Here comes the 99 down to the bottom. That's going to be Logan Clampett trying to work 92X of Mike Keegan down this back straightaway. Excuse me, that thing's a 3 of Lewis Hewitt that he's fighting with as they work now down in towards off of turn 4 and come across start-finish.
Yeah, Lewis Hewitt trying to hang on for the second spot. 3 wide for a moment, entering turn 1 right there. 3 groups of racing being shown. The 99 of Clampett down low. Keegan tried the middle, and Hewitt was up on the top. Meanwhile, your race leader, Tyler Ducharme, right through the middle of the racetrack. So definitely some different lines being shown here midway through this LCQ.
That they are. Lewis Hewitt still holding on to that transfer spot, though. Mike Keegan has fallen back to P3. Logan Clampett stays where he started, but he's trying to get up +1 right now. Runs the bottom on the 92X of Mike Keegan. A little bit of oversteer for Keegan through 3 and 4. That's going to allow Logan Clampett to take advantage. Move the 99 up into 3rd.
Yeah, Clampett up to the 3rd spot now. Keegan trying to come back at him on the outside, but Clampett, the only guy inside the top 5, trying the bottom of the racetrack. We saw Joel Berkeley in the last LCQ try and use that to his advantage, but ended up 3rd, and we might see the same outcome here for Logan Clampett. Now he tries to top down in 1 and 2, back to the bottom in 3 and 4 for the 99 car.
See, can he get there on Lewis Hewitt? Might be top in 1 and 2, bottom in 3 and 4 as trying to make anything work. He can't, gets the outside wall in 1 and 2, and here comes Mike Keegan. A little bit of a slide job, wasn't quite close enough to make that work as here comes Tyler Ducharme. I see him trying to move down the racetrack as well here, Chase. So this track may be changing up in big ways as people are going to the bottom. As look at this mid-pack scrap, 4 or 5 cars all under a blanket, into 1 and 2.
Clampett is definitely tracking down Hewitt the last 2 times by the start-finish line. He's been a 10th better than the 3 car, so the 99 has got something going. Top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. Clampett's not going to give up easy. Once again, he's one of those eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series guys. He knows how to handle the pressure here, Randy, and he's making it work to his advantage now as he pulls up next to Lewis Hewitt off turn 4.
What's it going to be for these guys as they come across to the final couple of laps of this LCQ? We saw a couple of slick SimSport cars get sent home in the last one, Chase, and there's one right now trying to hold on to his transfer spot as they work now off of turn 4. 2 to go, and it's going to be the 3 of Hewitt. He finds the wall, and Clampett's able to slip by, and another slick SimSport car gets sent back down and is going to be going home.
And Logan Clampett slips by for second. He's got a huge gap back to the 35 of Nick Cooper. He can cruise home from here. The white flag is out for your race leader, Tyler Ducharme, on the bottom of the racetrack. And Logan Clampett will have a gift handed right to him as Lewis Hewitt makes a huge mistake in the final transfer spot through 3 and 4. Tyler Ducharme will win the final LCQ, and Logan Clampett will start 20th in tonight's 35-lap main event.
Nick Cooper, Tyler Schell, Vinny Sansone, Mike Keegan, Lewis Hewitt, Skylar Brown, John Batista, and Sean Timmerman will be the drivers who do not make the feature out of LCQ number 2. And man, Chase, this racetrack has been great. We've seen it change over the course of the night. We saw that top line be so dominant through heat race 1 and 2 and slowly started feeding cars back down to the middle. And that's what we're starting to see here by the end of the night. That bottom line really almost want to be the place you want to be.
Yeah, man. I mean, you saw Tyler Ducharme. I'm not sure if he was just taking it easy because we know that the top of the racetrack can be very, very treacherous, and maybe Ducharme was just taking it easy. He's got a great race car. We know he's one of the fastest guys in the field after qualifying into this series, and you know, maybe he's just feeling it out down there. We did see last week during preseason Thunder that the track did get a little bit of a rework before the feature, so we'll see what the iRacing track prep crew does here before this this main event rolls off. And before that, we've got a 5-minute warm-up, which these guys can make some final adjustments to their race cars before tonight's 35-lapper.
So with that, we're going to take a short break here on the iRacing Esports Network as the track is currently open for hot laps, few minutes out from the feature event here from Volusia Speedway Park for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars iRacing Series season opener. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Looking for a move around the outside. They go toe to toe for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race.
Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Low. 4 wide at the stripe. Vanenke is going to fight for all he's worth here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out?
Welcome back. Here's Hot Laps continue here for the drivers in the 2020 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series season opener, and it's gonna be a fantastic main event here. We have a couple minutes before we get to that main event. Chase, what a track we've seen here tonight. This is gonna be very, very racy for all these guys.
It definitely is. I mean, as everybody's seen throughout the LCQs, we've seen both grooves of racing come into play. We've even seen the middle of the racetrack come into play. So the bottom, as we've seen a couple guys hit the inside wall trying to run it. That's just because how narrow the moisture patch is down there. You've really got to keep the left rear tire in the moisture to make it fast. So, and that inside wall, man, it can really bite you in a hurry. But we've seen the top of the track here at Volusia be really fast as well. So it's anybody's guess as to what's going to be the line. And with Alex Bergeron going to be on the pole, being out front, in my opinion, Randy, is so hard here at a place like Volusia that's got so many different lines. You really don't know what's going to be fast here until you really get going.
I think one of the stories as we get ready to go into this main event here, Chase, is actually your defending series champion, the 12 Alex Bergeron. You think back to a week ago where Alex, he just seemed off the pace. Remember in qualifying for a preseason Thunder, he was a full half-second slower than anybody else. That's not half-second off pole, a half-second slower than anybody down in last place. Comes out today, puts in quick time, and is able to pretty much make short work of his heat race. I know a lot of people have been saying coming into this championship, we've caught up to Alex, we've got something for him. He's not been good and he's not been up to form. And a lot of the other series, people will run, like the official series, other private leagues and such. But Alex, I think, is just playing everyone like a fiddle to a certain extent, because the same thing happened last year and the same thing works going into the late model series as well. The 12 is on rails as we usually expect.
Yeah, he definitely is, and there's no doubt about it that he is the guy that everyone is gunning for to win this championship. You're going to have to beat him if you want a $10,000 check with your name on it here at the end of 2020. So he's going to be real tough, starting from the pole. That is an announcer's worst nightmare, having a guy that fast on the pole, because usually that means that we're probably not going to see anybody really giving him a challenge. But we've got so much new talent that came into this series. We've got a couple of them starting right up front here for this first race of the season. Who knows what's going to happen here? It's going to be really exciting. Plus, they've added 5 extra laps to the feature, which might not sound like a whole lot, but last year, if we would have had 5 extra laps for a couple races, I think we would have had a couple different winners.
You're definitely right about that, as we are going to bring you your starting grid for the first main event of the 2020 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series here from Volusia Speedway Park. Let's run down your starting order and the 20 drivers that will be doing battle here for 35 laps for the first time in this championship. Alex Bergeron on the inside of the front row, defending champion of this series from 2019. He started this race from pole last year, and he won it. Cameron Merriman on the outside of that front row, newcomer to the series. It's going to be great to see what he can do with the series veterans around him. Blake Cannon on the inside of row 2 with Austin Semmelman on the outside. Row number 3 has Zach Novak and Dylan Semmelman. Row 4, Adam Elby and Kendall Tucker. Row number 5, Cole Cabre and James Eden, with Matt McKinney and James Tiernan making up row number 6. David Heileman and Braden Eiler on row 7. Anthony Job and Chase Cabre on row 8. Alex Molders, Tyler Ducharme on row 9, with Colton Hardy and Logan Clampett making up the 20-car field here in the season opener. Cars nearly completely gridded up as we get ready to go racing. Chase, any predictions for this one? You got about a lap and a half this time I'm giving you.
Yeah, I think, last week at preseason Thunder, a guy that won the race, a newcomer to the series, the 81 of Dylan Semmelman, he starts 7th. He's got his brother actually starting right in front of him, though. That's actually the first time, Randy, we haven't noticed that, but 2 sets of brothers here in 2020 with the Semmelmans and the Cabres, Chase and Cole Cabre. Pretty interesting to see how that works out, but I think Dylan Semmelman might have something to say here to Alex Bergeron by the end of this race. He was very, very good during preseason Thunder last week, so keep your eye on the 81. keep your eye on some newcomers like Cameron Merriman and Blake Cannon. Also, Zach Novak, man. I was not expecting to be this good tonight, starting inside the top 5 for this one. The defending eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series champion. Fantastic to see him having a good run here so far.
So here we go. 1 lap to go as a signal to the drivers as they work down the front straightaway and get ready to go racing. Nerves going to be at an all-time high. I'm nervous. I'm sure these guys are nervous as well as we look to get 2020, the season opener for 2020, capped off with a fantastic 35-lap feature event. Down the back straightaway for the 12 of Alex Bergeron. Let's see if he can win another season opener in your World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series. We wait now for the safety truck to pull onto the safety of pit road, and now it's all on the 12 of Bergeron. When will he pick up the throttle? Here it comes. We are green for 35 from Volusia Speedway Park into 1 and 2 for the first time. Trying to work up the inside is Blake Cannon on Cameron Merriman as everyone finds their way to the inside wall through 1 and 2.
Interested to see how quickly things change here after the LCQs. We saw so many guys working the top of the racetrack, and now everyone vying for the bottom. First car to step out of line is the 18 of Austin Selman. He's back in 5th, almost 3 wide for that 5th spot as Adam Elby goes down the bottom along with the 81 of Dylan Selman. 3 wide back into turn 3.
Merriman and Cannon, they're going to fight for the second spot right now. Cannon up the inside as Bergeron able to get 10 car lengths clear. He's already opened up a 1 second gap. One car a little bit loose on the top of the racetrack, but the fight for second is what you want to watch. 44 on the bottom off of turn 2 is so good as they're 3 wide for 4th behind.
Yep, 3 wide between 74 Adam Elby, 18 Austin Selman, and 15 Zach Novak. Looks like they kind of get it sorted out into 1 and 2. Now 2 wide battle for 4th between the 74 of Elby on the bottom and the 15 of Novak up top. Everyone on the bottom. I was not expected to see this. Nobody's venturing up to the top of the racetrack. We'll have to ask these guys at the end of the race what the strategy was there, but maybe if somebody tries it, there might be some speed up there by the end of this thing. But for now, everybody's catfishing.
Right there, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on your graphic right now as they work down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4 and then back down the front straightaway. So Bergeron out clear by 1.7 seconds. Chase, he's dominating.
He is absolutely dominating. Last time by 15.504. Second place Blake Canada 15.795. So 2/10 back is, or sorry, 2/10 a lap is how much faster Alex Bergeron is. As Cameron Merriman's now starting to open up his entry into the corner. He's tracking down Blake Cannon off turn number 2. Merriman's not done yet for that battle for second.
No, he's not. He wants it. He's keeping the 44 of Blake Cannon honest here as they work now off of turn 4, logging lap number 8 of 35 down and complete here. Is little fight in the back. I see Cole Cabray. He's side by side with, I believe that's the 15 of Zach Novak. So a couple of drivers doing battle in this one. Zach, of course, before he won the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship, he won the eNASCAR Ignite Series Championship in 2018. Cole Cabray taking part in that series in 2019 and was one of the dominant factors late in the season there, Chase. And now here they are, it's nearly wheel-to-wheel inside of your Sprint Car Championship.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how that all works out there between the 15 and the 71 car, but everyone really single file here around the bottom of the racetrack. The 49 car, David Heileman from 13. He's made his way up past about 4 or 5 cars now. He's up in the middle of the track right now in that Slick Sim Sport number 49 car. He might have found something right there as he's tracking down the 71 of Cabray and the 15 of Novak.
And people still looking for speed anywhere as Cannon and Merriman all over one another as we ride on board with David Heileman. You see Heilemania there underneath the front wing. The Heilemaniac has a handful of fans here on the iRacing services. Wheel to wheel for second between Blake Cannon and Cameron Merriman through 2 little contact between the 2 Nerf bars. Make contact as they work down the back straightaway for your top 2. The 44 able to hold on to the second spot for now, but I think the 17 has the speed advantage over Cannon.
Yeah, the 17 definitely looks a little bit better. We'll see if he can track him back down there as he was on the outside of him. Cannon kind of slid up the track just enough to where they kind of banged bumpers a little bit there. Cannon able to hang on to second. Merriman runs third. And then it's Adam Elby and Austin Selman rounding out your top 5. Behind them, a 3-car battle for 6 between Novak, Cabray, and Heileman. Heileman making his way to the front of the field here, Randy.
That he is. David Heileman started deep in this feature. He rolled off from 13th, currently sits 7th. This is one of the things David has been known for, Chase. He doesn't ever seem to qualify well in the wing cars, but he's always fast. He'd be so much better if he could just qualify well and have good heat races. But here he goes, 49 up to the top, trying to rent the cushion on the 71 off for turn 2. Not going to work just yet, but that top line maybe starting to find some speed.
Yeah, the 49's about to drive around Cole Cabre here down the front straightaway. Heilman's got something. Those guys on the bottom are kind of throwing moisture off the bottom into the middle and the top of the racetrack, and the 49 is taking advantage of it. Heilman from 13th up to 6th, and we're just about halfway in this one. If we can get a caution, Heilman might have something to say here to stand on the podium tonight.
He's been quicker than the next car he has in line of Austin Selman by about a tenth a lap. So watch for the 49 to slowly start reeling drivers in as we ride on board of the yellow 71 of Cole Cabre. Fight's starting to stretch out a little bit here, Chase. This track is really slickened off, and people are really struggling for traction, except your race leader of Alex Bergeron, who has opened up. This might be the biggest gap I've ever seen in series history. 4.5 seconds over Blake Cannon in second.
This might be one of the most dominating performances we've seen in any championship that we've ever had on iRacing.com. Almost a 5-second lead here over some of the best drivers in the sim. Alex Bergeron is laying the gauntlet down on him here tonight, letting him know that he's going to be the guy to beat in the championship in 2020. But David Heilman is definitely the guy that I'm keeping my eye on here as he's tracking down Austin Selman for the top 5 spot.
Trying to get there, but he's not there just yet. It's by a few hundredths of a second per lap, but the 18 of Austin Selman definitely going to be feeling the pressure. 3 and 4 this time. Selman running about the middle. Heilman still doing his standard technique here, Chase, of ripping the top.
Yeah, the 49 car, the Heilmaniac, trying to put it on for all of his fans out there after winning the 2019 USAC World Championship Series here on iRacing.com. Trying to come out strong out of the gate here with the World of Outlaws and NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, as Selman cannot seem to find the line he wants to run right in front of Heilman. He keeps switching it up. He goes to the top, then back to the bottom, in the middle of the racetrack. The 18 car looks like he's lost his roadmap out there, but he's making it work for now. Heilman's not able to really track him down.
Go off the turn 4 as we approach 10 laps to go. Heilman closes in another car length. That time down the front straightaway, closes in 2 more through 1 and 2. Selman trying to find a line. Heilman's had one for the last 10 laps, and that's going to show here through 3 and 4. Heilman, I think, trying to set up a little bit of a move, but actually Selman able to make the line finally work.
Yeah, behind those guys, Zach Novak has made it by the 71 car of Cole Cabre, and Novak up to 7th now, but still going to keep our eye on the battle for the 5th spot, the top 5. The 18 of Selman has it, the 49 of Heilman from 13th, after no caution so far in this one, is right on his back bumper now as they both work the cushion. Those are really the only 2 guys on the racetrack up on the top side of the speedway.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone's really fanned out, like you said, mostly down to the bottom. A couple of guys trying to the top, but we've seen just about everyone move off that upper line here as things work. Selman tried the top side this time, though, against the 49, and Heilman will get into the back of Selman. I think he was expecting Austin to go down to the bottom, and a little bit of contact be coming from those 2 inside the final 10 laps of your opening feature race. And Heilman up the inside on the 18 of Austin Selman. He's got him at the line, but can he get him through 1 and 2?
49 tries the bottom of the racetrack way down there. He's got the wing pulled all the way as far back as it can. The wing is in the trunk, and Heilman will move into the top 5. He's got to be the biggest mover in this race so far. 13th to 5th, but now I look back a little bit farther, and Alex Smolders has made his way up to 8th from 17th, and now he looks to the inside of Zach Novak just behind Heilman here.
Couple of the big movers, Heilman and Smolders, they've worked their way through this field in a race that has been green only all the way. David Heilman now trying to walk away from Austin Selman and doing a good job of it. Here come Alex Smolders fighting with the 15 of Zach Novak up the inside through 1 and 2. They'll go side by side. Down the back straightaway, slider line expected from Alex Smolders in towards 3 and 4, but no, he keeps it going down to the bottom. We've not seen too many sliders in this main chase. The bottom is just too good as Novak finds the outside wall off 4. And that's going to give the 211 the spot. Now here comes the 71 of Cole Cabre back on the 15.
Great job here by the 211 car of Alex Smolders. We've seen him do it a couple seasons, or a couple times last season, come from the back of the field and end up inside the top 10. And now he's working on the back bumper of Austin Selman. We had a battle for second momentarily now with the 17 car of Cameron Merriman's fallen off the back bumper of Blake Cannon, as Alex Bergeron has stretched out to almost an 8.5 second advantage as we come down to 3 laps to go here.
Alex is already hitting laps traffic here. He has put down the 52 of James Eden's a lap. Next in his sights will be, I believe it's the 39 of Chase Cabre. So a lot of drivers really struggling here with Alex Bergeron having the speed that he is. The fight for second seems the closest. Up and down the running order, the 44 of Blake Cannon trying to hold off Cam Merriman as we're coming to 2 to go.
Yeah, Blake Cannon, obviously finishing second would be great for the points, but that's also $200 in his back pocket if he can hang on to that. Third spot pays $100. Adam Elby's trying to close in to get that $100 from Cameron Merriman. The 74 car has been very consistent the entire race. He's about 3 car lengths behind the 17 cars. They work into 3 and 4. Coming around this time by for the white flag. It looks like your top 3 are pretty solidified here as they work back to 1 and 2 as Bergeron's almost at the checker here, Randy.
Half a lap ahead. Here comes Alex Bergeron, and he will win the season opener here at Volusia. The fight's going to be on for second, though, as Blake Cannon and Cameron Merriman stay all over one another off of turn 4, but it won't quite be enough, and it's going to be Blake Cannon who holds off to the second spot with Cameron Merriman in third. But Alex Bergeron, the most dominant performance I've ever seen in this championship through the last 2 seasons, will have a margin of victory of 8.5 seconds, half a lap on the rest of the field, and he's going to be doing some burnouts on the front straightaway.
That was unbelievable right there, what Alex Bergeron just did. I mean, we are talking about the best guys in the sim, the highest iRatings on dirt, the guys that have won races in this series. They've won big money events on this simulation, and he wins by nearly a half track. I mean, it is a half track. I mean, that is unbelievable stuff. He put a lap down on the guy that finished second in the point standings last year, James Edens. Just an unreal performance tonight by the 12th car.
Yeah, that was... I have nothing to say because I've never seen anyone be able to walk the field in this championship like
the dog
that
on him.
before. Yeah, he did. He literally just walked away. You'll see that sometimes in real world, but things are just so competitive here, Chase, in the virtual world that just so uncommon to see. It's uncommon to even see guys hit lap traffic and he managed to do it. But let's go down your final race results here. Alex Bergeron by 8.5 seconds over the 44 of Blake Cannon, with the 17 of Cam Merriman rounding out your podium. It'll be $300 to Alex, $200 to Blake, and $100 to Cameron after the first race here of the 2020 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Adam Elby will finish in the 4th spot, with David Heilman working his way up from 13th to get his way into the top 5. Alex Smolders, another respectable run, 17th up to P6, with Austin Sellerman 7th, Zach Novak in 8th, Cole Cabray in 9th, and Anthony Job rounding out your top 10. Then it's going to be Matt McKinney in the 11th spot, Tyler Ducharme in 12th, Logan Clampett 13th, Kendall Tucker in 14th, Dylan Sellerman 15th, Braden Eiler in 16th, with Colton Hardy, Chase Cabray, James Edens, and James Tiernan rounding out the 20-car field after that one. Chase, what an amazing run through this first night of racing that we just had.
Yeah, that was an amazing run for Alex Bergeron. I would be worried if I was the rest of the field after that. I mean, that was just unbelievable. So a great run for him. Next week, though, we head off to a new track that this series has not ran at before. So we'll see if that might even out the playing field for the rest of these guys after that performance.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. It being an all new circuit for these guys is going to make things very, very interesting as we get ready to go to post-race interviews here in just a couple of moments. But Lernerville Speedway, Chase, let me talk about a little bit. I know it's something you've mentioned in the past as Chase has lost us. Come back here. Nope, wait, hold on. There's a little bit of confusion on our end. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But we should be all set here. So Lernerville, Chase, tell us a little bit about it. I know it's something you've talked about with the fact that track not having an outside wall, of course, a complete unique challenge. You know, we see these guys slamming into the wall from time to time when they jump the cushion, but now they're not going to be finding an outside wall. They're going to be jumping a big old berm.
Yeah, the cushion that there at Lernerville, from what I've noticed, it's really, really thin, and it's easy to jump over it and end up flying off the racetrack. And it's something unique that we have not seen yet in the iRacing simulation. It's the only track that does not have walls. So, and we've seen in real life at that place, guys fly off the racetrack all the time. So the guys in the sim are going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be really interesting to see how that all works out. And, man, a new track, it's going to be really cool. We've also got another new track coming up later on in the season, which is going to be really exciting. So can't wait for next week at Lernerville, but we're just about ready for some interviews here.
Yep, let's kick it off here, and he has joined us finally. A little bit of TeamSpeak server musical chairs were going there, but Alex, what a run for you. That has to be the best solo testing session I've ever seen. 8.5 seconds clear of second place. I think that's a record.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just riding the bottom very smoothly. I was right beside the fence. I barely touched the fence any time, and I was just very perfect every lap. And I actually never made a mistake.
And I mean, how was that? I mean, it's been such a fun talking point. I know there was talking points last week of how hard you were sandbagging, or if you were just struggling in the test race, being so far off in qualifying. But I think everyone expected that you were maybe, holding something up your sleeve the last week or two. But I don't think anyone expected this.
Yeah, I mean, I was not really sandbagging. In the race, I was fast, and like I said, in the other interview, I didn't run a good line in qualifying, and wasn't really ready for qualifying there. So, in the race last week, I was running very good. We went from 13th to 5th, and tonight we just made a perfect night like we did last year. So it's picture perfect.
Come on now, Alex. It's way, way better if you just say you were sandbagging. It definitely builds the hype a little bit and gets the drama going. I know you weren't, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Now, we're going to an all-new circuit for this championship next week. We have a couple new tracks, actually, for this championship this year. Fairbury in the mix as well. But Lernerville Speedway, it's such a new track, and a track a lot of people have been asking for. What do you think we're going to see there as we get ready to take this series to the track with no walls for the first time in 2020?
Oh, it's going to be interesting. That track has been very fun since it came out. So we're going to see a lot of good racing there, just like we saw tonight. Multiple lanes, and I think bottom 1 and 2 is going to be fast. And I think everywhere else is fast. Just 3 and 4 is very difficult to run there. And we're going to see a lot of great racing. That's for sure.
There was Alex Bergeron, your defending champion in 2019 of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series, and he will win the season opener here. Alex, before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 12?
Well, as always, Team BRE Sports with Jason Nygaard. We worked hard. It paid off again. We also thank Rebecca, team manager for the team, and my girlfriend as well. We're doing an awesome job. We're a small team, and we don't give up. So we're gonna keep on doing what we're doing and try to get it done 2020. Gotta thank all of our partners as always: CSI Shocks, Pit Logic App, BK Designs, Smart Farm Equipments, all the fans out there for tuning in, my father for cheering on us as always, and you guys for doing an awesome job broadcasting iRacing and World of Outlaws for putting this series up. It's a pleasure to be here, and we'll try to do good this year again.
There was, everyone, Alex Bergeron, your winner here in the season opener from Volusia Speedway Park. Next up, driver who ran second tonight. We saw him be competitive last year in the late models, and now he looks like a force to be reckoned with the winged sprint cars. Chase, you have the 44 of Blake Cannon.
Yeah, Blake, man, that was a great run for you. Really, I came into the night. There's 9 cars in the stable for your team with Swindell Speed Lab Esports. I'm not going to lie, man. I would not have said that you were going to be the guy out of that 9-car field that would end up second here tonight. But nonetheless, you do a fantastic job. End up P2, held off Cameron Merriman there. But really, you guys might have to go back to the drawing board here after the 12 car. He just walked the dog on everybody, and obviously a second place run is good, but when he's that far ahead, it's got to make you a little bit worried for the rest of the season here.
I wouldn't say I'm too worried. I really didn't have any expectations coming into tonight. I mean, I had a decent run going last week in the practice race and kind of got some confidence up, but I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that I would have ran the best out of the stable this week either. So to say that I'm worried for the rest of the season, I wouldn't go that far. We got to get better. I mean, people want to talk about Bergeron, and I'm not a huge Bergeron fan, but he put it on us tonight. So we'll take it week by week, and we'll take the butt kicking like a man, and we'll go on to next week.
I like it. So next week, you said they're Lernerville Speedway. First time for the series. I know you've probably got a lot of laps under your belt there at that place. What are you looking forward to at that facility? Obviously very treacherous with no walls around the outside. Really, there's no margin for error at that place, or else you're going to be, looking for a new race car over the pits.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lernerville is probably one of the toughest tracks that we got to date, but honestly, I feel like it's probably my best racetrack out of the schedule. I don't want to jinx myself, but and recent races through the qualifying series, I felt like that was probably my best racetrack. So if I can get a good run going to next week, hopefully build some momentum on the year, and we can hopefully cap off a solid year.
Absolutely. Well, you're one of those newcomers into this sprint car series. Last year we saw you get a win with the World of Outlaws Morton Buildings late model series, and I think that was at Lima Land, if I'm not mistaken. But you come into the sprint cars, open wheel cars, and much lighter. How much work did you put in having to get ready for this series, and trying to drive a completely different race car? Because as far as I knew, you were kind of a fender guy before this all started.
Yeah, I'm still a Fender guy, so I don't think there's an amount that I can put words on to describe how much effort and time it took for me to get ready for this. And as you seen tonight, I'm still not completely ready. So I just can't thank everybody on Swindell, Kevin, James Edens, LB, Rusty, Hardy, Chase and Cole Cabre, Kendall, Blake. I mean, everybody over there, they do so much for me, and they help me out so much learning the transition. Dylan, Matthew, and Mike McKinney as well. They put so much time and helped me learn the tendencies and how to drive these race cars, because trust me, it is not the same and it's not easy. I mean, these things are I feel like 10 times harder to drive than a late model. I mean, a late model, if it gets a little slick and it gets off to the wall, you can got something to lean on. These you get anywhere near the cushion and you're done, as we see in practice race.
Yeah, definitely. Well, sounds like you thanked all your buddies there and everybody who helps you out. Who are some of the sponsors on the 44 car?
Like I said, just I gotta thank Swindell Speed Lab, Jeremy Ray for Design 25 for giving me the good-looking car. I gotta thank Augusta Aquatics, Bell Helmets, K1 Race Gear. They came on board. iRacing and World of Outlaws and NOS Energy. I gotta thank them, because without them, this series wouldn't be possible. So I'm just thankful to be here. I don't think anybody expected me to run this good, so to be the underdog feels good, and to move on to next week.
Absolutely. Well, there's second place finisher Blake Cannon. A great start to the season for him. And unfortunately, we don't have our third place finisher. He might have loaded up and went home already, Cameron Merriman. But we do have our fourth place finisher, Adam Elby, who ends up P4. He's with Randy now.
If I got the driver, the number 74, Adam Elby. Adam, good run from you. You started 7th and worked your way up to P4. Overall, a successful night for you guys at Speed Lab.
Yeah, we had a lot of speed. Thanks to everybody over there. Put in a lot of laps to get this deal rolling. So glad we could finish off 2nd and 4th. And I don't know where everybody else finished, but glad we can get 2 cars in the top 5.
Now, you guys have a little bit of a small army running in this championship. How difficult is it having I think you're nearly double digits coming in here to 2020?
Really, it's just we got so many people because it's just a bunch of us buddies. I mean, we've all been sim racing together for, almost 10 years now, and it just kind of worked out that way. So, we all just get on here and have a good time, and I think that's, what helps us the most is that we just get on here to have fun and work together. We never have any drama or anything like that. So, really, I think that's just a big key to our success.
Well, a successful night for you guys at Swindell Speed Labs Esports. Take me down the list of the guys who make this all possible for you guys and this the organization as a whole.
I obviously got to thank my guys over at Swindell Speed Lab. We put in a lot of hours and we get setups pretty dialed, so they make my job easier. Got to thank K1 Race Gear, Bell Helmets, HMS Motorsports, and Racing Electronics. They all come on board and they support our sim racing, so we can't thank them enough for that. Got to thank iRacing, World of Outlaws, and NOS Energy Drink for all coming together, putting this on, and then all the fans who come out and watch and support what we do. It's pretty great to be able to get on here and do this in front of such a big audience. So can't thank you guys all enough.
So there was Adam Elby rounds out the top 4 tonight for the season opener of your World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series. And man, Chase, this was a great race that we saw. The track really slickened up, and we saw a lot of drivers struggle, but we've seen one driver in Alex Bergeron, and we know that he is always good when the tracks get fast along the bottom when they're slickened off. We've seen it, I think, a couple times last year. I want to say we saw it at Williams Grove, and not only the sprint cars, but in the late models as well. So these guys are probably hoping for a little bit more of a tacky surface, I think, just to keep up with old number 12.
Yeah, obviously going to that new track next week. I think a lot of these guys after tonight are probably going to head off and do some private testing, try and find some extra speed, maybe put in a couple extra hours of practice to try and gain some more speed as you get a look at the schedule for the remaining 9 weeks. Lernerville, Fairbury, Knoxville, Limeland, Lernerville one more time, Kokomo, Eldora, Williams Grove, and ended at Charlotte. So a pretty wide range of tracks that we will go to here for the next couple of weeks. And these guys, they've got to step their game up here if they want any shot at beating that 12 car, because tonight I think all eyes are definitely on him, Randy. So hopefully next week we see some more contenders here.
Yeah, let's hope for that as we work into the second round of this championship at Lernerville. Be sure to join us next Monday at the usual time, 9 o'clock Eastern, for the second round of your World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series as it heads to an all-new track at Lernerville. And of course, be sure to join us on Wednesday evening as we have the World of Outlaws Pro Invitational. That's going to be a fantastic race. Johnny Gibson right now is in the works to be joining us as well for that event. So should be a fantastic week of motorsports that we have coming up from you. Until then, we hope to see you all tune in next time. Bye-bye.